Alright, we're going to get back onto the shovelhead motor here. So this is the one where the rods are way out around. Brand new motor. Brand new crank, I should say. So, I went and got the aluminum cages. So these allow me to use loose bearings, which I got piles of them. So that I can fit up what I need. So I get all kinds of different sizes here. So I can hone the rods, whatever I need, and then put rollers in there and get it to the numbers I like. So all I really knew is I got to set the dial bore gauge on the machine, and I got to measure the crank pin for the diameter. So going to do that. As I recall, this was quite a bit undersized, and it is. It's about 8. 8. Okay, so we're about 8/10. So that's 12/10 under 0. So the crank pin's an 1.25 inches, which is 1.250 with a bunch of zeros after it. So this crank pin is 1.248 and 8 and then zeros. So the fourth digit is an 8, not a 0. So with the 9/10 clearance, I run the bearings up to a thou, which is 10/10. That'll put me at 9B1 or 2/10 under 0 when I set my bore gauge over there. Assuming the rollers are on size, which they never are, so we'll have to figure that out when we get to that. So we gotta go set our bore gauge over here. And I can't remember if I checked the rods to see if the rods are straight yet. I don't think I did, so I gotta double check that too. So over here's a dial bore gauge, which you can't see from that view, I don't think. There it is, right here. This is our checking standard. So there's the size it's supposed to be. Of course it's allowed around slightly because it's not the best condition. Temperature correction right there. That's a big change. What happened there? Seems way out of whack. Yeah, that's surprising. So you gotta reset it to 0. Okay. What's going on here? Now it's screwing with me. Try 180, check it again. That's 1/10 down that way. So I got 1/10 variance in this, and not quite a 10th, about 3/4 of a 10th. And now when you put it over there, it's, at least it's close to 0. We'll average out the air. Okay, we're at 0. Alright, that was way the hell out of whack. I don't know why that is, but whatever. That's why you check them. Okay, so now that part's set. And we measure the crank pin, so that's set. So now you go see if these rods are straight, which we haven't done yet. At least I don't remember doing it. It's going to go on this bike right here, eventually. Okay, so there's our rod checking machine. So this comes off an expanding mandrel down here to a flat surface that's perpendicular to this, and that's how you check it for straightness. You need a little light to do that. Use a few tools to bend with. Okay. Alright, this should be a Evo pin. Oh yeah, it is. Nice and tight. No clearance on that one. Okay, now you put your little doggy on there because it looks like a little dog. Wipe off all the surfaces. So this is a V block, comes off the V here, off the wrist pin. You get the 3 forks here, so it goes this way here and this way here. So wherever you have a gap, that's how the rod's bent. Very small gap on top. Spin around 180, check it again. See if it's the same way or not. Okay, a very small amount of bending needed. These are pretty stout rods, so I'm going to put some pressure out here, see. I wiggle it back and forth to kind of neutralize the beam. Everything likes to go back a little bit to where it starts. You can hit with a hammer too if you want. I'll do about the same thing. Okay. Pretty even. 180 and check it again. Got a bigger gap now than I had. I think I made it worse, not better. Alright. These are pretty stout rods. So it takes a lot to bend them. A lot of flex. Still not seeing anything. Put more weight on it. At some point it's going to quit flexing, it's going to bend. So kind of move slightly that time. Still looks the same that way though. Oh, that didn't look good. I put some serious amount of pressure on it that time. Yep. I think it moved a little. Very little. Of course, I said that last time. I'm trying to get to move like 5 or 10 thousandths. There we go. Looks a little better. I think I moved 5 and not 10. Okay. Basically, that thing didn't hardly move at all. It might have moved 5 thousandths at most, if that much, maybe 3. Pretty stout rod. A lot of spring in this, and that's good. Like I said, this nest makes pretty good stuff. They don't know how to hone anything straight around, that's all. Okay, let's see how good this one is. There's a gap on the bottom. Means it needs to move this way. I don't think it moved any. Check it again. Turn 180 degrees, try it again. A little bit of a gap on the top. So it's just like the other rod, it's just a tick off. Now we have the gap on the top a little bit. A little bit on that one too, I think. It's hitting on this corner here, and the other's got a gap on these two sides, just a little bit of a twist to it. Pretty even now. Very slight gap on the top. Yep. Oop, it moved. Yeah, big gap on top now. That means it's going to be too much. So it actually moved on that. With that hit, we got too much now. This side looks good though. Pretty close. Just kiss it lightly. I think as you move back pretty quickly. Oh yeah. Big gap on top. Oh yeah, it's still there. Yeah, move back really fast. Yep, a little bit of twist still on it too. Pretty close. And a big gap on top again. Yep. Okay, back down again. It's really hard to get these strong ass rods to do much of anything. This side looks flat. Yeah, it needs to go back just a little bit. Is it clicking? That's the gap on the top. There's a little bit of gap on top too. For some reason I'm getting a little bit of an error on the perpendicularity for some reason. It's in the middle of the error, so that means it's straight. Something's getting worn. Something is slightly out of square over there. I'll try the big rod again. That side looks really good. Here, it's the top one. Okay, that's centered. Okay, so that's how you do it there. So for some reason my tooling is getting a little bit of air to it. But if you split the air, it's accurate. So I'm winding up with a slight gap on the top each time, so something's out of whack. So I don't know if there's some kind of a burr or wear mark inside of here. Most likely is probably the problem, even though it feels perfectly flat. There might be some kind of getting a little bit of wear built up. Who knows? Today it wants to be in air. We'll work around it. All right, that's it for that. We're going to go ahead and go over the hoe next. All right, we're back. So I'm going to check to see how far out around the rods are, and what size they're at, so I get an idea what bearings I'm going to need. This rod got a lot straighter on that side. So for some reason the rod got actually truer on the bottom. It's about 2-3/10 better than what it was before. Okay, size wise we need to be, depending on what roller we use. Let's see, crank pin was at 12, so we need to be at 3 under to 2 under to be our 9/10 to 1/1000 clearance. So basically the rod needs to be about right here for standard bearings. And this is out around, so that was over 4/10. So that means I can go at least 4/10 up on the bearing. Make that one clean out. So being a hot rod motor, we'll just figure 1/1000 clearance, make it easy to mount easier. Ooh, that was way out of round. This This side's nice. That's how it's supposed to be, barely moves. This side over here, not too good. Okay, so we're going to use 8. We need 8/10 to work with. So that means we're using 4/10 bearings. So maybe we got to come over here and find some 4/10 rollers in the pile down here. So we start out standard 2s, 4s. So these are 4s here. This is Sportster. This is a big twin male rod. And then this should be the other side, which is male. So someone put these in the wrong spot. They definitely are a big twin though. I can't see what the length they are. Yep, the correct length. So it appears we are out of stock of 4/10 over bearings. Or they got put back in the wrong spot. Those are 2s. 42, 42, those are stews. So we have to go to 6/10, it looks like. 6, 6, and 6. So these are all 6s. These should be 6s also. Okay, so we're going to be using 6/10 over because we don't have any 4s on this, on the one we need. We're out of stock. It's pretty hard to buy bearings anymore, so that's a problem. I have to hunt down some bearings someplace. That'll be fun. Now these are bearings are 2/10 undersized, so actually 6/10 bearings it would be 4. So not always though. Usually not. If we're lucky, gotta work on these. We have an idea what we want. See, there's not enough in that bag to do what I need. So we'll get some more out of here. Okay, let's see what diameter these ones are. Let's get the real accurate mark, the carbide tipped one. See, that one's 8 on the mic. Yep, it's 8/10 right here. 5/10 is standard, so this is 3/10 over, even though it says it's 6. It's actually 3. Which doesn't surprise me one bit. Okay, so we're going to call that a 4. Even though it's only a 3. Appear to be consistently those numbers. Yeah, right about 8 each time. A couple more just to double check. We'll grab a few more. I'm expecting a couple 10ths variants, but not the damn 3/10 variants. Which means it's an error by 3/10. Okay, these are consistently coming in at that number. So, yep, 8. Now let's see how good this mic is. We'll measure it with this one. Should come in the same. This one here is, yeah, pretty much about the same. Reflection sucks on this one. But we're right about 8 again, so the mics are the same. So the old mic and the new mic are consistent. Old being 50s, 60s, and this is probably 70s, so maybe early 80s. Good tools live and they're accurate. Okay, now let's see if we luck out and have these being the same size. It'd be nice. And yeah, I think we're about 9 on this one. Yep, we're 9 on this one. So this is 4/10. Those are 3, these are 4. it's coming in at 9 on the mic now. Grab a few of these. Yep. That was almost a 0. 9. We're consistently at 9. 9, 9.5. So that one's bigger. It's nice if you can roll the roller a little bit to smear off the oil and grease. It does make a difference. Yep, it dropped to 9. It was at 0, went to 9. Got 1/10 of buildup crap on it. Okay, that's that bag. I don't think there's enough there to do the whole motor. So I'm going to check our other baggie. See if we got the finishing group we need to finish it, because that's enough to finish it with what's in this bag. I think we're alright. Yep. 9 again. 9. Okay, so we're good. So these are 8, these are 9, so this is 3/10, these are 4/10. So that means the male rod will be slightly small. We can go 1/10 smaller on the rod diameter and be the same clearance. No, excuse me, the other way around. The female rod can be smaller than the male rod, so the male rod needs to be slightly bigger than the female when we hone it. Okay, so this is our, we got 3/10 here, 3, 3.5, so we're at 3, let's call it 3. You put 3 and 3 together, you got 6. You add that to your other numbers, which I'm sure everybody's confused about. So you go over here. You look at your gauge up here, right there. So the crank pin's at 12/10 under. 0 is our standard, because that's what we set it for. Okay, if you put in your clearance, we're going to figure 1/1000, which is 10/10, puts us at 2 under is our standard point. The bearings are 6 to 8, depending on which ones they are. So if you add that to the 2 under, that's -2 basically. So that means you finish up over here at 6 or 5. 5 to 6 over here is where we're going to finish at to be correctly clearanced. And we already had the one rod that was going almost that far already. This one here is about 2 under. This one on the one side here went way under. Not that side, that was on this side. Yeah, right there. That's 3 under right there, 3 1/4. So basically I got a 1/10 or 2 to clean on the biggest side, and I got to take double that on the other side to hone it out round. Okay, so that's, we're going to wind up somewhere between 5 and 6 on the dial, and this one needs to be bigger than this one. Or the other way, no, other way around. This one needs to be bigger than that one. I get it figured out. Or just make them both the same. It's close enough. Okay, so let me get this side of the way. There we go. Okay, now we can go ahead and hone the rod out on our mandrel and try to get the numbers where we need them to be at. Okay, this is from the case, so it's a different size. We have to swap this out to the smaller one. This is 1 3/4. The rods are 1 5/8 diameter. 1/8 difference. So our other one. Okay. What happened to my rod here? Okay, we have 3 different finishes here. We got a coarse one, a fine one, and an extra fine one. So that's how we do these. So the numbers down here tell you which one is which. So this one here is the fine one. Now if you look at the finish, you can kind of see the differences in the finish, how they get progressively finer as you go across. That's how you tell. by just looking too. Okay, we don't want to go with the coarse one because we don't have that much material to move out, I don't think. Double check here and see where we're at. Definitely don't have it on this rod. Yep. Not much to work with there. We could probably do a flash with the coarse. Ooh, that one's way bad. That one's good. Okay, so we could probably flash it with the coarse. And we switch over to the medium and then the fine. I'll leave a couple tenths between each one, so. Okay. This is our coarse one. The coarse one tends to true up the hole better because it cuts out the high spot pretty quickly. I like matching the rods up for the rodding so I know how they come out originally. Bouncing, that's what's that around. Got about half the air. That one got real big. And that one's almost the size on one spot. These get hot, so when you cool them, they shrink back down. Okay, that's it for that stone. Okay, this is the 80. Yep. This sets the diameter of the stones out with the pressure. Helps I get my hands nice and oily. Hello. Working away. Yeah, right. I can't do it right now. I'm in a honing tank right now, working on oily hands. You gonna come down? Or you gonna give me a call in a little bit? Well, just give me a call back in about 20 minutes. I'll be fine. Okay, bye. Alright, he wants some parts. Okay, so that's it for that stone. I'm going to drop back to the real fine one. Let's see, what number did I just pick off? Which one is that? That's the 80. Which one did I just use? Oh, that goes on a 90. Yeah. Maybe I went right to the fine one. I think that's the one I just used. Yeah, whatever. Mixed them up. Okay, so these need to be cooled off a little bit. They shrink when they're cold. So you put them in a cold oil tank over here. Cool them off a little bit. And now we check them. So that's from 3 to 5. That's 4, 4.5. Okay, this one here. 2 to 4 almost. That one is at 4.5 to 5. So this side's done, this side's blue. Needs a lot of hone out of it. It usually cuts more on this side, so I got to concentrate on holding on just this one side, not this, because this side's getting already to size more or less. Now if we double check our clearances, we're going to be at 2 under, and then we have, these were 4, that's 8, that'll be 6. This is going to finish at 6, and the other's going to finish at 5. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hold this one separate, because I need to hold the one side only. Not that side. Alright, now that's there. What did I do? There it is. Okay, so this side here needs to be honed more. Oh, that is a different stone. Yep, different diameter, different stone. Okay, we'll put them both back in. Cutting now. You can see the smooth finish it has, but see that's kind of a mirror finish in there. It's really fine. That's real fat on that one side. Not sure how to fix that problem. This is a lot more even. This is going to be a fun one to figure out here. More. See how the rod's not bouncing around like it was? That's 5 to 6 now, and that is 4 3/4 to 6. Right at 5, 4 to 5.5. This one's out around a little bit. I'm going to cool them off a little bit again. I'm not sure what happened. All of a sudden, one side of the rod got lost, or that's what size. Must be hitting on something from the shirt or something. I'm not sure what it was, but. Back square again. And I'm going to do these independently now. So there's no bouncing. It's nice and round, even if you don't have a clear measurement. This side is a tip tighter. That one off. It does shrink 1 or 2 tenths, this body. Cool them back down. You feel cool to touch. That's 5.5, 6, 5.5 to 6. This is pretty close. A few more strokes though. This one here I got to work on a little bit. Smaller on that side. It's out around and bigger and smaller on this side. So I hope this direction here. Five to 6. 5 1/4 to 6. Normally it feels a lot more cutting pressure here. This time it feels most right here. Just lower here and lower over here. feel a difference how the pressure is. That one's done. And then a little bit more on it. Seven off. Okay, let that cool off. It should bring it back down to the number we want. All right. Wipe this down a little bit. It's going to make the camera nice and oily now. Got to move the camera so you can see, so try not to get it too dirty. I'm worse than picking up an oily tripod. Okay, I'm going to zoom in on the gauge so you can see what the diameter is now. So there is our gauge. Whoop. We can kind of see there. Get the oil off my arm right now. Okay, this is the bigger one, which we had to be at 6, which would be down there. So right now you see we're on 6. You rotate it. We're 6 and I see a little flash of 7. 6 3/4 right there is our loosest spot. 6 there, and then about 6 3/4. And you can see how smooth the finish is in there. You look at the race and you want to see it, whoop, get the race so you can kind of see it. You want the race to be a nice smooth finish all the way around. If you have a smooth and a dull area, the dull area is a low spot. Okay, so now we check the other half. And 6 there and 6 1/2. Right there, maybe 6 3/4 on the outside. This one here, about the same. We got about 3/4 of a tenth out around on both sides. But it's nice and even, very nice smooth finish, so the break-in's really quick because there's not much material to wear. Very low break-in on this. And you can see how now it's nice and round now too. Okay, this is the other rod here, check it. Now this one here we need to be 5. So we'll go 5 to 6 is what this one looks like it's doing. Yep, 5 to 6. And it starts at 6 and stays about 6. It's got like a little twitch in it. And once again, you look at the smoothness of the rod. Wipe out the oil so you can kind of see in there. So you can see how fine the marks are in there and all that. Okay, so that's how you get these things really, evened up and sized. Okay, now you go clean all this stuff up. And we'll be back. Try not to make the camera too oily. Yeah, I just got it oily. Alright, I'll clean the camera now too.